Welcome to my Dragon Kindred. I'm Drakervon, and let's play some games. Drakervon here, back in City Skylines of my twin dragon cities, and today we'll be expanding out a little bit of our neighborhoods and hoping to build up some growth to have our town actually become much bigger. For this first part that we have, I've decided to expand out to the left here. I'm going to put in a little bit of a curved large road to bring in the next part of this neighborhood on the north side of the road. I decided to go with a nice big curve, about 1600 or close to it. And then I decided to put a little straight road behind the main road. Just a little bit of an angle. Have things somewhat balanced as we expand on our residential area and save the actual commercial zones primarily for main road. That'll be a nice little transition for the part. I'm filling in here some of the commercials, and I decided to go ahead and put in residentials in a little bit of this neighborhood. And what we'll start off with is just a small little bit of neighborhood, see where that does for our growth. Do a little bit just on the main road on this section here. And then on this section, well, just to break it up a little bit, most of that's covered by water. So I wanted to expand process. Go ahead and time to put in water pipes here in a moment. Expand out to the next area so I can growth, letting it grow, bringing in people here. As we progress on, I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do with this little pocket gap between the industrial up in the top right corner here. So I decided to put a little bit of a curved road to kind of break up the residential area from the potential industrial, since it seems that we've got a little bit of industrial growth to work on. I decided to put in some 2 extra little blocks of industrial zones, at least temporarily, before we get to our potential farm in our little expanded area across the highway. Those little areas right up across the road where it curves, I decided to fill that part in with small little bits of commercial, just to have some actual commercial growth there. And I decided not to make the entire area industrial because I didn't want industrial right up against actual residential. The classic games the SimCities, most other city builders, you don't want your industrial right up against your residential. So I'm just providing a little bit of a barrier here with commercial zones on the curve here. That way we can keep residential pocket, sorry, the industrial pocket here isolated because I don't want too much growth and too much pollution. I want to keep it to a minimum until we can make our farm area and get the growth that for the time being, so that we can have our city growth that we do need. Decided to go ahead and fill in this pocket gap between the main road and pocket. So we do a straight road across the line over toward the curve of the industrial area, help connect things. And then in addition to that process, take the curved roads once more, build in some nice curved patterns, continue the curve of that first arch to kind of fill in this area where it has enough space for place about 2 of those down just to fill out the bulk of the area, which those actually fit in quite nicely. And I decided to make things a little bit different. I decided to curve a bit of a different direction to follow the road that it's closer to, rather than having to make just some sort of cul-de-sac and lose a little bit of space. See here, bring back our curved road instead of going a straight road here, and find the right area that we're happy with. I ended up just going right to the main road, so it kind of doesn't end up making 2 roads jumps into too close. That would be really bad for traffic. End up a little. It did unfortunately chop up a little bit of the commercial zone there. And then what we decided to do here, most of this area, I decided to fill in the residence for the most part. Again, to allow for the advance and growth that we need, because we have to get, if I'm mistaken, up to 2,400 people in our. For the time being here, we're just going to put in a little bit of these industrial areas to finish out this little bit of the industrial curve. And then while I'm letting some of that grow, we bring in the commercial zones at the top just to bring up this section of the neighborhood. And I decided that I would do a split down the middle here, so I left that gap for a road to go all the way through. Alright, so at this point we bring in our residential areas to fill in a little bit more of the growth, just to round out the neighborhood here a little bit. And I'll end up letting it grow, and we'll work on adding some parks a little bit later once we get into a bit more of proper growth. We'll fill in this last little bit of this neighborhood area. I have to put in some new pipelines here. So in keeping with the idea of going along the roads here, we'll bring the path up this way and have it nearly connect, but I decided not to have it connect. So I just bring a road up, piping here along the road, just to fill in the gap, even though they don't really connect. Need to, it should still work out. And we'll wait for the growth to fill in and hopefully have a good amount of people come in here. As we're waiting for the growth, unfortunately I left speed on a little bit slow, so it's taking a little bit more time I would have necessarily liked, but that's okay. We are getting the growth that we need. Seems that we are going to definitely have to do, for our next episode, a industrial farm area, as have a significant for industrial hasn't been addressed as of yet. So we'll let the growth continue here. Bring in the houses and the commercial zones. Okay, now we're going to let the growth happen with our residential area as we bit of an overview here of the city. A nice big of our large first curve into the actual head of our city. Have to, of course, take some time to put in some districts, continue to work on expanding city, perhaps maybe a bit later video. For now, we're gonna let it roll on right into night and hopefully have the growth. We are getting ever so close to Boomtown. Just need a extra 100 people. Be good to go. Let it roll right on in through the night here. Seems to start to rain. That's always good. We're doing a little bit of faster growth this. Remembered finally to actually turn up the speed of the game. We'll have to figure out exactly where we're going to expand or how we're going to expand out from the other areas. As we're getting a chance to see all the wonderful lights at night, seems to show good signs of growth. We are getting a good slow steady climb, almost hitting 2200. So we're gonna add in a little bit of the residents here. Add in before, just on the top of the smaller road. We're able to provide enough of the growth to expand at least to our next major city evolution. This little area here, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that, so I decided to take some time, fill in a couple of residences to expand it out. Again, trying to get the growth that I want. hopefully fill in enough workers for all those commercial zones off to the side there. Seems that even with my expanse, still don't quite have enough people. But as we're going along, we're ever so close. Now, add in a little bit of improvements here on this lower section. Get a little bit more growth here. And in the process of doing so, complete our boom. We're going to definitely have to expand on the areas that I have. We'll definitely have to work on the transportation, add in some bus lines for their video, and for the time being, we'll definitely add in our cemetery and some extra medical protection. Make the people happy. That will pretty much finish out most of the video. Going back and checking here. This. I'm going to put this area over in this lower area where I was trying to expand. And I decided to put it onto the right hand side here rather than into the expanse of my roads. Thinking of possibly having the roads eventually meet up into a point and use that as a branch to fill out like a wheel kind of curved area. So as the I've only got the one medical area, I decided to put in a medical area clinic here over on this side, so that keeps everybody nice and happy. I have to certainly check some of the other civics, like police and fire. Work on the bus lines, I think the next episode. Area across the highway there up on the top right corner of the video right now will probably be where I put my farm. Following suit, kind of like what Jonti Sparrow over Geekism did. A great deal of inspiration there to get back into this. I've always loved building in city games. So we're getting a good view here of the overshot of the day. Looking for, again, continuation of growth. And for the most part, very happy with how things have worked out so far. Take the time to get a nice little bit of a close-up. I think I'll end up using that little cemetery church for our little screenshot. Would go very nicely with the growth of the town. So I think that'll work out. And always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Drakervon, and special thanks to all my Dragon Kindred.